Hello students, I Kamlesh Kumar. Welcome to all of you at my YouTube channel Social Science Academy. Today we are going to start chapter 4 of class 9 civics, that is electoral politics. So first let us see the overview of the chapter. Uh, in this chapter or in chapter 2 we have seen that in a democracy it is neither possible nor necessary for people to govern directly, and the most common form of democracy in our time is for the people to govern through their representatives. In this chapter we will look at how these representatives are elected. We begin by understanding why elections are necessary and useful in a democracy. We try to understand how electoral competition among parties serves the people. We then go on to ask what makes an election democratic, and the basic idea here is to distinguish democratic elections from non-democratic elections. So students, in the previous chapter, which was what is democracy, why democracy, we have studied various features of the democracy, and you know that in a democracy the consultation or opinion of every individual is necessary, or it becomes necessity for a democracy. So it is highly impossible in a country like India, where population is almost 135 crore, and in the size of this population it becomes impossible to govern the country by consulting every individuals. So for that purpose there is an option, and we elect our representative and we take part in the system of governance through those representatives. So those representatives take decision on behalf of we the people of India. In this chapter we will also study about the electoral competition, means what is the benefit of having various parties and how these parties pose competitions in electoral politics. We will also try to distinguish that what are the elements which make an election democratic and what are the elements which make an election non-democratic. The rest of the chapter tries to assess election in India in the light of this yardstick. We take a look at each stage of elections, from the drawing of boundaries of different constituencies to the declaration of results. So at each stage we ask what should happen and what does happen in an elections. So towards end of the chapter we turn to an assessment of whether elections in India are free and fair. Here we also examine the role of the election commission in ensuring free and fair elections. So in this chapter, in the later part of the discussion, we will study from the beginning of the stage of election, that is the creation of constituencies, and the last stage to declaration of the result. We will see every process in sequence, and then we will also try to explore the role of the election commission in India for the conduction of election at the various levels, and what are their power. So this is the framework, this is the overview of the chapter. In light of this overview, we will further continue the discussion of the chapter in the next video. So in this video that's all, and very soon we will try to release the next video. Till then, keep watching. Thanks, have a nice day. If you are liking my video, Please press on like button and subscribe the channel to get the earliest notification of the video. Thank you.